better as a result of social media presence.
If it doesn't do those three things, then it's on the chopping block.
It's a return on investment discussion.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Daily Dealer Live. I'm your host, CM Dark, and welcome to the space where automotive comes together to learn, to share, to grow, and most importantly, to execute. Thanks for being here on this Friday, January 9th, and welcome to Fixed Ops Friday, everybody. We've got one heck of a show coming at you today. David Khera, Service Director at Benzel-Busch Motor Car, joins up. Danny Negalha, Fixed Ops Director at McGovern Automotive Group, also joining the show. But before we go there, let's hit today's industry headlines. First up today, Stellantis has confirmed that it's discontinuing all of its plug-in hybrids in the U.S. starting with the 26 model year. That includes the Wrangler 4xe, which has been the best-selling plug-in hybrid in America. News of the models being discontinued first surfaced after the drive got a tip that the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee 4XEs were no longer available on their respective build and price tools on Jeep's website. At the same time, Stellantis has been pulling back elsewhere, shelving the all-electric Ram, cooling plans for a Chrysler EV crossover, and shifting marketing back toward gas engines and performance models. Bottom line, rather than juggling incentives, compliance, and mixed demand, Stellantis appears to be simplifying. Next up today, in used car news, CarMax says 2026 is about getting back to basics. After watching used car demand pick up while its own performance lagged, CarMax recently told investors it plans to reset pricing and rein in costs to try to win customers back. That starts with lower sticker prices, including a mix of $500 and $1,000 reductions across portions of its inventory to make listings feel closer to the market. At the same time, CarMax plans to spend more on marketing while cutting about $150 million a year from selling, general, and administrative expenses. Bottom line, after a year of declining sales and profits, CarMax is conceding that execution, not demand, has been the bigger issue. Next up, Ford has a long list of vehicles that qualify for the new $10,000 auto loan interest deduction, including many of its best-selling trucks, SUVs, and vans, including the F-150 Ranger, Super Duty trucks, Bronco, Escape, Explorer, Expedition, Mustang, Transit, E-Transit, and Econoline. I get a breathe. But several Lincoln models also qualify, including the Aviator, Corsair, and the all-new Navigator. The deduction applies to personal use vehicles purchased from 25 through 28 with income caps that phase out eligibility above $100,000 for individuals and $200,000 for joint filers. And because roughly 80% of Ford's U.S. sales are domestically assembled, the brand is better positioned than most to benefit from the policy. And last up today, a growing share of new car buyers are taking on $1,000 plus monthly payments. In Q4 2025, get this, 20.3% of new vehicle buyers committed to four-figure payments. 20! That's the highest level ever tracked by Edmunds. On top of that, the average amount financed hit a record $43,759. While destination fees jumped sharply in 25, Detroit automakers alone raised pickup destination charges by about $600. And buyers are stretching loans to make payments work. Loans of 84 months or longer accounted for 20.8% of new car financing in Q4. That's well above year-ago levels, keeping monthly payments lower at the cost of longer debt. What's the big picture here? Well, the new car market is increasingly split by income, and since 2019, new vehicle sales are down 30% for households earning under $75,000. and down 7% for those earning $75,000 to $150,000, but up 45% for households making $150,000 or more. That, according to Cox Automotive. And that's a wrap on today's industry headlines. Yuli, welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Dude, all right, I'm going to breathe for just a second. So we always talk about, I'm COO of an auto group, 41 stores, 4 states, 2,700 employees. And in the course of this job, sometimes the job collides with the show, and we got to improvise. And today is one of those days. we are focused here at Ziegler on crushing 2026. And so I am all over our footprint trying to make that happen. And today, the show, we're going to improvise a little bit. I don't have my teleprompter like normal. I'm in a different setup. You can see stuff behind me. So this is live automotive, where we adapt and we execute as we adapt. So what do you think?
We got the most important piece of the puzzle. We can see and hear you. So
yeah, well,
yeah,
we're 20 by 20 in my glass box, my glass cage of emotion, to quote Anchorman, which I love, by the way. So, hey, Yuli, how are you doing on the Covideo contest, on the sales and service contest?
I am 1,000% fired up. I'm ashamed to admit I have not recorded a video yet, but technically I'm just a judge. So
I'm going to tell you something. I recorded a video, even though I don't qualify. And can I tell you something else? We're going to play my video on Monday.
Oh,
because I think that'll help spur some competition. And so I'm throwing it out to my friends, Dennis Gingrich, everybody who's ever been on this show. Join me. Send your video in. You can text it to my cell phone. You can go to the form to submit it in. We might preview a couple or a few videos Monday on the show. Now, this is not the contest. We're not judging, but just to kind of spur some creativity and some excitement. As a reminder, Yuli, shoot a video customer facing. It's got to be 2 minutes or less. Shoot it on your phone. You can do it on your phone. Loom, you can do Covideo or whatever you use every day. And the important part of this, and I remembered this when I did my video, it's got to be customer connecting. It's got to be something that delivers information, and you got to have some sort of call to action on it. And we're going to pick, ultimately, at the end of the contest, the top 4 videos in the entire country, and we'll have those 4 people come on the show and share with us what they did, what their thinking was behind it, and how they connected with the customer. Because all the data that we study on this show, from service MPIs to customer communications, is that people connect better with video than they do email, than they do text messages, than they do with anything else. And so we'll bring the finalists on final episode. We'll give them one final hurdle, and then ultimately we will crown the champion of Car Dealership Guys 2026 Dealer Video Competition. And that winner gets national recognition, a little bit of national props. And I don't know, if there happen to be an NADA, they get an invite to the NADA party. So, which will be fun, right? So
yeah, for sure.
All right. So will you make a video for Monday? You and I will both pop our videos out.
I'm in.
All right, let's do it. We'll share our videos Monday. We'll do it super fast, not to take away from our guests. All right, let's go to our first guest today, David, Service Director at Benzel-Busch Motor Car. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, I say.
David, welcome.
Good to have you back. Thanks for being here. You've been on the show before. So let's start out with how's biz, and tell our audience, for those who may not know you as well, who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Great. I'll start off with that. So my name is David Cerqueira. I'm the service director at Benzel-Busch Mercedes in Englewood, New Jersey. 26 years in the business, 20 of it on the parts side, the last 5 years now on the service side of things. And we just closed out a great 2026. All of our metrics, everything we set out to conquer, we did it. So we're coming out of the gate in 26, looking to make another big impact again. So we're pumped. We're ready.
That's awesome. So last time you were on the show, we talked connected car leads, and you said they were converting 20% in 30 days. What's the number now, and what'd you do to improve that or protect it?
So we're working on them every morning. We get the leads from Mercedes-Benz, which work out really well for us, and it's really the real gauge on it is the customer sentiment, the response. Like, wow, you know that my vehicle is in need of service. That's great. So we're making it as easy as possible for our clients to make a service appointment by reaching out to them. So yeah, we're still kind of in that same range, right in that 20%, which is great. It's driving business into our express service department, and now we're going mobile. So we're gonna take that route also.
You talked about getting daily interval lists from Mercedes. Is that related to the connected car, and do you still do that? And what's been your updated process on that?
Yeah, so the BDC, so yes, it is all part of the connected car leads, and the connected car leads provide us with information regarding if you need brakes, regular maintenance intervals. So yeah, we're working that every single morning at 7 a.m. We get connected car leads. They're new every single day. So yeah, the BDC is working hard on that.
That's awesome. What would you tell someone that has not leaned in or doesn't understand connected car very well in January 2026? What's your take, given your experience with it, about how it is the future of automotive, if it is?
It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you're just not in the game, right? Number one, you need to ensure that at time of delivery that you're connecting that customer to your store. You're making sure that you're the preferred dealer.
Yeah.
It really creates this unbelievable service experience for the client. They're loving it that you're reaching out to them, because I think a lot of times it can be intimidating calling into the stores to schedule an appointment. So we want to make it as easy as possible. And that live BDC rep making that phone call, it sets us apart.
So Mercedes-Benz, I love their motto is best or nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of dealer groups, dealerships across the country, there's a little bit of a battle between the OEM and the dealer group or the dealership for ownership of that customer. The OEM in a lot of cases would bring that customer back to any store owned by the OEM. Dealerships want the customer to come back to the store or the dealer group. How has Mercedes-Benz set themselves apart, if they have at all, in bringing that customer back to your store as opposed to the brand?
I can tell you one thing. Mercedes-Benz has done a really great job with their Mercedes-Benz Max marketing program. I mean, recently they had a conquest and really to get back dormant customers, where they were providing a $300 incentive to get back into the store, and the pool of customers that we're seeing coming back. I mean, I think in the month of December, we probably had 30 customers with that marketing campaign coming back and spending money on true service and repairs. So it's definitely working. I mean, Mercedes-Benz as a manufacturer does a great job on the fix-up side of things, from parts and service information. I would say that they're one of the leaders. So no question, they're focusing on each store individually. And now that Adam Chamberlain is back, I think 2026 is going to be a huge year.
It's even better. Again, I love their motto, the best or nothing. Like if there's anybody in this business that doesn't grab onto that ethic, whether you're Mercedes-Benz or not, you're missing the boat. You want to be the best. We all want to be the best. Last time you were on the show, you talked about Express being 22% of ROs, your Express Lane business. How's that been since you were last on the show?
We're now getting close to 24%. What we come to understand is that customers are willing to wait as long as we can honor them, keeping them in the store for right about an hour, right?
Yeah.
Between servicing, getting the car through the car wash, and having the touch points every 15 minutes. Customers are willing to wait. A lot of them are just, they don't need to loan a car. And if they can just prop up their laptop, we have some really great amenities here, they're going to hang out with us. And it continues to grow for us.
How do you, from a technology standpoint, how do you set the wait expectation in service so that customers feel good about the time spent there? What's your strategy for setting the expectation and then delivering on that?
Well, video MPI, even though the customer is waiting, that happens within the first 15 minutes with any recommendations, right? So the service advisor is making those 15-minute interval touch points with them to let them know how we're progressing with the vehicle. But the video MPI piece is the one that triggers happiness, I would say, because they're working on my car, right? That's my car. And we're doing a great job with that. We're now up to 84% video creation.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
David, can you do us a favor? Will you go through and look at your best videos this past week?
Yeah.
And will you send us the best video today that we could play Monday? And I want to give some of our viewing audience some of the best of the best. There are dealer groups that are at 80%. There are dealer groups that are at 5%. And there are dealer groups. I was in one of our stores and I shared the idea of the meta glasses for the video MPI. And our Hyundai store was like, that is awesome. We want to do that. But how do you do that proactively, right? Would you send us your best example? Yeah. We'll submit it into the contest, so it'll be part of the contest, but we'll share it with our audience on Monday just to kind of give everyone a sense of what's coming. That would be, because 80%, to our audience in the comments, I would love to see if anybody's got better than that. I think you guys are probably leading, yeah?
Yeah. And the other thing is Mercedes-Benz is leaning into it too. They just announced that any of their dealerships that are above the 80% threshold, they're going to give us $2,000 a month, right? And
wow.
that's a great way you can use that money to incentivize technicians, do anything with it. So I mean, if you're not in the video MPI game, you're just falling short all the way around.
You could buy everybody Meta glasses. What in your world? What's the device that you use to take the video? Is it an iPhone, a camera? Is it glasses? What is it?
Yeah, so we have CDK and CDK within their service view. So we're just using our technicians' phones, and it just uploads right to the cloud. And we do send direct, so it goes directly to from the technician to the customer, which we love because it really opens up the conversation, right? And really, there's no delays, and it really helps us optimize that approval while the customer. I mean, they could be in the waiting room, right? But it's a conversation starter. They're calling our advisor, say, hey, I received the video. I need tires, I need brakes, or there's any kind of other recommendations. So it keeps us going.
There's so much credibility from being able to see it rather than just hearing it and being told it. If I'm told it, it's a question of credibility. If I see it, like it's so credible. So with CDK, I'm curious, just because I ran into this. We launched the contest in our group, and some of my teams reached out and they're like, hey, Covideo is CDK, right? And I thought it was, because CDK is in the process of rolling Covideo out to all of its customers, I think.
So
based on my own experience.
It's actually True Video.
It's True Video. Okay.
True Video.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their partner.
Were you aware that there was a Covideo pilot or some program out there with CDK, or no?
No. I think it's True Video. I know it's True Video because that's my dashboard. That's where I look at all my performance metrics for sure.
Okay. So you go in as part of your service, your CDK service product, and you can see the metrics for percent of videos delivered as part of.
That's exactly right. So we actually communicated to our technicians every week, right? The previous week's generated videos and what the performance lift is. So I spell it out every Monday morning. It's actually one of the first things I do to let them know the importance of it. So look, we've got a ton of buy-in. They see what it's done for them in their pockets, and the transparency it provides to our customers.
Wait, can you tie it back to performance lift? Are you able to quantify it?
Yeah. So
give us that metric.
Yeah, absolutely. So customer pay sold hours before and after a video, we're just under an hour, and then the lift on parts, it's right about 30% lift.
Wow.
Yeah. No, so the CDK platform does a really good job of letting you know, first of all, how many videos were viewed, how many times it was shared to other people. That's the metric I love to see, because that's what is cool. Really engaging. But right on their dashboard, it gives you all the information, and it tells you open repair order versus closed, and you can filter out internals, right? So you get a really accurate number. In my case, I filter out internals and also collision repair orders because those are being done somewhere else. So.
Interesting. And so Mercedes-Benz obviously is an OEM. They're probably agnostic to what system you use to push that out, I would suppose. There's Xtime, there's CDK Service, there's a bunch of different programs. Have you tried different programs? Was this the best one of them all? What was your experience there? So
I could say that this is the best one so far due to the fact that there's noise cancellation. Technicians can pause the video. There's closed captioning, right? So I have a few technicians that maybe English isn't their first language, and maybe it's a little hard for our customers to understand what they're saying. They're on the closed captioning, and that cures that. So.
By the way, speaking of noise canceling, in my busy days, that's what I need right now. I've got noise all over the background. I don't know if you all can hear that, but noise canceling is probably smart so that when your technicians are doing the video or your salespeople are doing the video and someone in the background says something that they don't accidentally catch somebody dropping some sort of language or a conversation, right? Like you've got to have that, I would think, is a key. But that lift for parts is astounding. That's amazing. How long have you been experiencing that lift as a result of using this?
About 3.5 years now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we ask ourselves this question all the time: where would we be financially without video MPI? I mean, we think about that all the time. So we definitely wouldn't have the lift year over year without it. And really, customers, if we do miss it, they're asking for it. They're like, last time I had a video, what happened? So it doesn't.
Well, I hope this video gets clipped up. This moment in time in this show today gets clipped up and shared, because it's so interesting to me. I'll have some dealers reach out and they're like, Sam, why do you guys talk about videos and MPIs and all that stuff so much on the show? We're at 80%. Like it's a standard, it's an expectation. And then other stores are like, you know what, we haven't quite gotten onto it. Our technicians won't do it. And my question, if the techs won't do it, is what's the biggest obstacle? I think as leadership, you got to set the standard. You got to, what you've done, you've quantified the impact. You've explained why it's so important. And then it becomes part of culture. Do you have any comments about that? An acceptable reason not to do it, and or why you wouldn't do it, and how you took that reason and turned it into culture at your store?
Look, I'll tell you, probably the first 100 videos were done by myself. And I said, you know what, I made fun of myself when the videos weren't so great, right? Yeah. But then with some of the naysayers, I worked right alongside them, and I said, look, once this video gets through to the customer and we see an upsell happen, that's how we got engagement out of them. So look, it's really about shop leadership and being out there. And I spend a ton of my time in the shop. We have 41 technicians, and I live my life out there with them. So look, what it does for transparency, I mean, dealerships are everything comes into question when cars are coming into a dealership. So we eliminate that black hole, right? I mean, how great is it to educate a customer? And look, we don't only use it for upsells, we're also using it to explain how to use a certain product, right? If a customer's unsure how to use a driver assistance feature or anything, you can make a 45-second video and send it directly, even without a repair order. True Video has the ability to do it that way too. So there's so many cases for use. It's invaluable.
All right, we've talked a couple times on the show this week and past week about what's the toughest job in a dealership to hire for. Recently, we had a great GM owner operator on who said, hey, the toughest job isn't service, it's a sales manager, and he had a great explanation for why. What say you, January 2026, what's the toughest job in your world to hire for today, and how are you filling that gap?
Look, we're in a great position that we're not hiring any technicians. We have a full staff here. We've done.
I love that retention.
Right, a great job retaining technicians. We're spending a ton of money. I looked into it before the show. We had 243 training days at the Mercedes-Benz Learning and Performance Center for our technicians. In 2025, we graduated 7 master technicians and 2 centralized diagnostic technicians, which that was a big feat. We set out in 2025 to make sure that we could master certify as many technicians as possible. And we're up to 7, and the CDTs, they're really a game changer. So we're fully invested in education.
So is the training part of your solution on the retention piece? Is that what's driving it? Or how have you solved for turnover? How have you had such high retention at your dealership with so many, technicians, service writers, and support staff?
Look, it really comes down, it's interesting. Most technicians, service advisors, they're looking for education. They want to have a career path. Actually, most of the conversations don't even start of what the compensation is, right? It's like, how are you going to develop me? How am I going to get there? And we have a culture in this store, and it's really from top to bottom. Our owner, Jay Aggress, is fully committed to this. I mean, to have 243 days of training, those are days of lost production. But the thought really is they're going to come back with the tools to really make an impact, right? So the most complex vehicles, complex repairs, EVs, it's no big deal for us. And then on the customer-facing side of it, we subscribe to the NADA education program. So advisors are going through essential service advisor training, the parts advisor, management team. So we're using every educational resource that we can to really make a difference in the lives of our employees, and that's what they're looking for. And when we're in that environment, you're not losing people.
Yeah. That is such an interesting paradigm shift over automotive 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we all got super nervous when people were wasting time where they could have been turning ROs in a classroom. And today, I see that as well, that commitment to training, development, and not patronizingly, but truly giving somebody a career path. How did you get to that point of we see the value of time spent in a classroom and we committed to that? Because that's intentional, and initially it takes some expense to make that commitment, right?
Look, I would say that I'm the poster child here of education, right? I set the tone for everyone, but we had, as I said before, commitment from our ownership. The
Yeah.
NADA for us has been huge. I have 11 service advisors. They've all gone through their training, right? Myself, so really setting a gold standard. Look, the industry is really complex. Our customers are expecting more from us. We need to give our team members the tools to really operate in a real professional way. And the education that's provided both from the NADA and also from the Mercedes-Benz Learning Performance, it's foundational. And without it, you're not going to make an impact in your store. You got to make that investment spend.
Well, I got to tell you, we appreciate you being on the show today, sharing your progress and your continued success. We'd love to have you back. Love to dig deeper even into mobile service, because that's another area where Mercedes-Benz is so elite. But thanks for, well, and by the way, send the video, because we will show it. We're going to show my video. We'll show Yuli's video. We'll show yours.
Okay.
And everybody, I think, will get a kick out of this Monday as we go through the process. So, David, I slaughtered your name.
Cerqueira.
Cerqueira.
There
Thank you.
go.
David Cerqueira, service director at Benzel-Busch Motor Car. Thanks for being on the show today and sharing your perspective on this Fixed Ops Friday.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
We're going. We're going to see a bunch of videos on Monday. This will be fun.
Definitely.
You're going to be surprised by what I did, Yuli. So you got to do something good, and you can't put the beard. You can't bring the beard back, but it's got to connect with the customer. It's got to show why people in dealerships would go up to 80% pen on those. So, all right, let's talk stream companies. Today's episode is brought to you by Stream Companies dealers. Stop chasing incentives. Retail Ready from Stream Companies updates your offers in as fast as 4 hours and keeps them compliant. Stay current, beat out competitors, and drive more leads. Headed to NADA. I love this part. Visit us at booth 3113W. If you've been at NADA, you know the need for that. Or learn more at streamcompanies.com/retail ready. And to Stream Companies, thanks for sponsoring today's content, including that great conversation with David on all things Mercedes-Benz. Best or nothing, from all the things that they're doing to increase their effectiveness and express service and everything else. That was a very, very cool conversation. So thank you for your support of the show to Stream Companies. All right, next up, Yuli, you ready? Should we go to Danny?
I'm ready.
All right. Danny Negalha, Corporate Fixed Ops Director at McGovern Automotive Group. Welcome to the show.
It's
Danny,
great to be back. Thanks for having me again. How you guys doing? All right?
Welcome back. Great,
Danny,
great to see you.
Good
Always
to
a
have
pleasure.
you back. Now, so for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about How's Biz. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Business, 2025 was a great year. I think it was a photo finish. We saw a 10% increase in more units in terms of repair orders, customer pay wise, and a 15% increase in fixed revenue year over year. So pretty excited about 25 and what 26 is going to bring. I've been the fixed ops director for McGovern Automotive Group since inception of 2016, late 2016. And the business about 30 plus years. Started off in the parts department. So here we go.
Giddy up.
Well, since the last time you came on, we were talking about retention. You were doing some pretty special things there in your department to keep your people. What's the one thing you changed in the technician system? Recruiting, onboarding, pay plan that produced the biggest measurable lift.
So we had a pretty good conversation last time we spoke about our technician incentive program that was administered about 4 years ago by myself and the team of fixed ops managers, including my fixed ops trainer. And that's been pretty successful. We're now at about 690 technicians, and our turnover ratio is roughly about 23% in comparison to on the fixed side. So that's been a positive in retaining our technicians. And I think the 2025 really flourished with the program because it had some opportunity from the process perspective, which flourished in 2025, which allowed them to receive a little bit larger incentives in November. So it's a pretty good buzz. And not only did we retain technicians and retain most of our fixed staff, but it generated into fixed operations profitability
We love
from a
that.
multimedia perspective.
Yeah. Well, getting your turnover down to the low 20s is very impressive. And you had mentioned that last time. But what's the next number that you're chasing, and maybe the 2 to 3 levers that you're using to chase that?
From a retention perspective, I think, you know, our we have the three-legged bar stool is what we call it in our culture here. It's customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and we have to be somewhat profitable in our company. If one of those legs fall off, and the bar stool tips over. In terms of next level, well, there's always something that we can get better at, whether it's providing better benefits or having access to, which we do, employee pricing, providing a good work environment, celebrating successes. One of the things that we do a lot of as well, to try to understand what's out on the field. I personally go to the stores with our trainer, Ken Webster, and we do roundtables with the technicians, get a pulse of what's going on in the field. It's important to us. It's important to our ownership. And as we collect that information, it can allow us to help retain our technicians and our staff more properly just by having a pulse on it. So that's also been very helpful.
I love that. And we know that you know David. So I got to ask if you're willing to share with us. He's saying his video MPI is, you know, over that 80% mark. Where are you guys sitting now? Because we know that that's a very important thing to focus on here. I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, it was the best it's ever been last year, because the program really took place and it kind of self-managed itself with the technicians and at the store level. I believe that our photos and videos grew about 23% year over year. And when I look at overall multimedia on 158,000 customer pay repair orders, it was about 93%.
Wow. Do you have
we
best?
saw about 20% increase in revenue per media in comparison to prior year with more locations. So they bought into the program.
Say that again, but louder. So you're saying 20% more revenue just by doing media. I mean, if that's not impactful, I don't know what is. What would you say your best stores are, you know, under your umbrella?
Oh, geez.
I'm not saying your favorite store. I'm saying
not my
like
favorite
the top performing video. Of course.
I'd have to say, if I was going to look at a store and say our highest volume store, which is our Toyota store, really took off last year. I would say they're probably 98% photo multimedia, almost 100% multi-point inspection. So they really, and it's a store that does about 7,000 ROs a month. So those small adjustments really made a big impact. And definitely funneled more profitability to that store. We also had a good outlook with BMW last year. Our Audi store did really well. We had several Hyundai stores. Our newer Mercedes-Benz store did well. But if we're going to look at a high volume store and best performance based on volume, to get to that number is commendable. So I'd say Toyota.
For sure. Well, kudos to you. We know that you're always forward thinking as well. Is there any new technology that you brought on or that you're utilizing to achieve these amazing figures?
Well, so I think we just got better at the program. However, technicians now need to be at their bays. Last time we spoke, we talked about our AI platform that is now on 20 plus stores. So now we have robots in the service departments. Not all of them. We got a couple of service departments, Toyota being one of them. They got 2 robots. Our Ford store in Saugus has a couple, and now we're testing over at Subaru. So we believe that these robots are making they are. I mean, we're testing them out right now. They are definitely making it more efficient for the technicians being at their bays and turning more hours.
Who are you getting the robots from?
Ryotech.
Okay.
Ryotech.
Okay.
Yeah,
I need more info here. Like explain. You have
what do they
in your
do? Like they're
delivering
from parts to the technician, right? And what's the ROI on it? How long have you been doing it? Robots are cool.
Yes. It's really cool. They play music too, and we give them different names. And
I love it.
We actually have one store that they go out to the customer waiting area and will drop off a water or a bottle of water from the customers.
I went to a ramen bar that had a robot deliver my meal. They're not robots like that, right?
No. No. So what do they do? Essentially, when we looked at this, the cost of running having a parts runner didn't make any sense because one, there's an emotional perspective there where they can get into with the technicians, they can call out late, they can not show up to work, and there's a bigger expense. So we looked at a robot where they can be programmed to get the parts pulled on the robot, and then they get programmed to go to each bay in about a minute to 2 minutes, if so, and drop off the parts there, then come back and on to the next. So when you have a 48 bay shop and about 90,000 square feet, it's time consuming. So we've seen a lot more efficiency there. We really haven't put a big number to it yet. It's been about 3 months, but I think we'll see a lot better trend going into this year.
I'm really fascinated by the back end of this as well. So, I mean, you have 48 bays, you're saying, and you have one or multiple robots coming.
We have two robots right now. We have two robots. Yeah.
And they know where to go.
Yeah. So when you bring them in, they'll come out and program the robots for us. They'll work with them for, a couple of days, make sure they're doing what they need to do. And once they do that, they're on their own. It's a matter of, picking the parts, putting it on the robot, hitting the bay number, and off it goes. And it'll drop it off at the bay, wait maybe 30 seconds or so and come back.
What do they cost?
I think the robots, they're just a little under 3,000 or right around 3,000 a month.
Okay. And then they handle all the maintenance costs, all the software upgrades, all that stuff. That's interesting.
That's everything.
Like, so have you looked at the comparison between that 3,000 a month for the robot and what it would cost you to have a parts runner, like a whoever to perform that function? What's the savings?
It's got to be anywhere from 20%, 25%.
Yeah.
So that's just the savings, but I'm also looking on the return on investment. So if you put those together, it's going to be double that at least, especially in a high volume shop. Did
you look at buying versus renting monthly?
It didn't make any sense to buy. It's a month to month, so the agreement's pretty easy. It works for us. And if something fails, they replace one within the next day or two. So
have you named the robots?
I'm pretty sure there's a couple of names out there that I've heard, but no, I haven't named them personally. But they do play some pretty good music. So,
such as, what's the favorite tune?
You can play some Ozzy on there, especially.
That's cool.
You can play some Ozzy. Yeah, they can play anything. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
cool.
So that we went from AI to some robots, and most recently, our Toyota store was approached by, and this is really cool actually, a tire machine that changes tires on the lift itself. I sent through a presentation yesterday on this, and it was very impressive. Talk about future robots and changes in technology. It actually replaces tire, mounts and balances tires, and it'll give you a brake inspection, multi-point inspection. It's pretty wild.
The car stays on the lift up in the air.
What is it?
Yeah,
the car stays up on the lift, up in the air. It's never come. I mean, I assume they're taking the wheels off to be able to.
So
do
the car.
This, right?
So this is really new. I think it's in pilot basis, I believe, at a few places, and essentially you drive the car in a lift, and on the arms it looks like a tire mounter and balancer, and it's all robotic. It'll go in there and pull the tires off, dismount the tire, add the new tire, put it back on, and while the tire's out, it'll give you brake inspections and an inspection of your components there in the brake area. So, and it gets it within 3 seconds or 3 minutes, I believe. It's 3 minutes. It's pretty wild.
How are you thinking about with this innovative technology, robots, and the technology you just talked about? What's the bar for you to say, yes, let's do that. Yes, let's try it, because it is pretty outside the box, right? And we have a tough time with that in automotive. What's the bench where it makes sense to take not the risk, but to try it, pilot it?
I think it's being open-minded to staying ahead of doing things differently that can be not only more efficient for the business, but also more profitable.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is where we're going. This is the future. So if we don't start looking at these things now, we're going to become obsolete. And I don't want to be obsolete. We want to be cutting edge. And fortunately, we have service managers, general managers that really want to embrace this technology. They buy into it because they see the value. So if you see the value in something, I think that's always the most important thing. And the risk, you got to take risks, because if you don't take risk, then you're not going to find out what the benefit of that can be. So I don't think there is a limit. At least I haven't been told yet. So but as long as I can prove that it works, and we have the team that embraces it and they're open-minded,
you're good. Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Danny Negalha, Corporate Fixed Ops Director, McGovern Automotive Group. Last question is, will you do the video? Will you send it in? We'll show up Monday with everybody else as well. So
sure can. Most
we
likely.
We appreciate you being on the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
And Yuli, talk about executing at a super high level. Here we go. We're going to close out today's show in epic style. And actually, Danny's here. We appreciate you being here. To all of our Daily Dealer listening audience, thanks for watching Daily Deal Live. We break down the biggest moves in the car business as they happen on this Fixed Ops Friday. Don't forget, we're here live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if this is your world, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on those notifications so you never, ever miss a beat. And we'll see you next episode, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.